La, la, la. Am I going? Is it going? Is it going? Is it even on? I can't even tell anymore. Is it going? Good morning. Hello. Welcome to yet another amazing episode of Redstone Lapis Lazuli. It is I, your host. Hello. 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 There I am. All right. All right. Hey, welcome. 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 Made it to another Sunday. Every time this is getting harder and harder. It's just getting crazy, man. Oh man. Okay. So where am I? Well, I should be standing on the village breeder, right? But something seems a bit weird. Like over there is the gold farm, like it should be, right? Like gold farms ought to be. But something seems different. Like this doesn't look like the same thing that was here before. And that's because it's not. What this is an entirely new village breeder that I made. And because, like, you can't tell, right? But that what intersects this whole world are invisible lines. Every 16 blocks, there's an invisible border, a chunk border, for up and down and sideways. So you have invisible lines everywhere. And, normally, right, I pass through them and I can't see them like they're nothing, right? It's like it's nothing. However, if I leave a chunk and a villager is on the border next to one of these lines, they will disappear. They can disappear. They just poof, gone. Bug rock is what they call it, where stuff just breaks. And that happens a lot here in Bedrock Minecraft. So I had built this thing. I had built my village breeder already, like over here, like seriously, just over here and maybe down there a little bit. But when I came up here to check it, I went down there and I had no more villagers. I said, what happened to my villagers? I went up to check on the village breeder and one of the villagers had disappeared. The other one was there, but one villager just disappeared. Just poof, gone. Not there anymore. And yeah, that's what happens with Bedrock. Like I had to spend a whole bunch of time to overcome a bug that was in the program. I mean, yeah, this version is better. I like this version much better. I have this area here where I can AFK, which is nice, right? I can AFK without being attacked by things. And now that I understand how this works, I've improved the design. So the kids, when they're born, they want to come jump on the bed. And then they see the trap door as a solid block. So they don't know there's a hole there. So the kids wanting to go play and jump on the bed, and they run right through. The adults, they want to go to bed too, but this trap door won't let them through. Now, for some reason, they can't see the trap door there. They don't know it's there. So they think that this is a solid block and that trap door is not there. So the adults think they can go over to the beds too and sleep, but they can't. So instead, the beds stay unclaimed because as soon as a baby is born and claims a bed, the baby goes to jump on the bed and falls in the hole. And I'll show you where the babies go in a bit. But check it out. It's easy. The villagers, like, how are they both farmers? I don't know. Anyways, they're both farmers. That shouldn't happen, but they are. And yeah, and like I like to stand here because the kids like to go talk to me. They're like, hey, what's up? There's a strange Minecraft person over there. Let me go talk to them. And as they come over to talk to me, they just like fall in the hole. See, check it out. Watch. Hello, hi, little. Oh, okay. And that just happens again and again. And then now that baby is delinked because he fell out of the radius, out of the simulation distance. The baby fell out of the simulation distance, so the baby no longer claims a bed. So now these villagers, as soon as they're full of food again, they're going to make another baby. And repeat. Okay, so there's that one, right? And then over here is the way down to go see the babies. So let's go look at the babies here. And this is where they land. They come down here into this little pod where they're safe, right? There's no way to get in and out of here except from here. These are the only ways in and out, and then that hole. So these guys are safe. Even if a monster were to come down here, they can't. Monsters aren't smart enough to use scaffolding. So these guys are safe. They're safe in there until I get to need them. And then I pop in a mine cart, and then they go up. This thing is great. This is a water elevator for mine carts. So you don't have to use a bunch of powered rails and a bunch of space. So I would get the villager. I would pop them up here, and then I would take them to my base. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-ba. Oh man, I spent so much time doing this. You don't even know. All right. So you come here, and then check this out. It is the village trading hall, the villager trading hall that I've been working on. I've been trying to get slowly filled in. I've got room for more over here. I got my gang of cats, and then I got my, well, there's supposed to be 13 priests, but one fell through the bed, fell through the solid block and into the water where the drowned killed him. So I have to get a new one, and I have to make a safety catch to catch them, so that if they fall under the water again, I can make them so they can find their way back up, because that's no good. That's pretty bad. But yeah, they just fall through he just fell through. I don't know why. Bug rock. Woo. Okay. What else is going on? Oh yeah, I got this, my trading hall, or my enchanting station here, so I can enchant all I want, and I'm ready to go, because I've got I can just use these villagers to trade for the stuff I need. I can trade pretty much for diamond gear again. I have to go. I accidentally killed my guy who was giving me an axe and a hoe, a diamond hoe. I killed him by accident because a golem spawned, and I was shooting the golem and I missed, and the arrow hit him. So it was a random shooting, and now I'm sad because getting villagers with the trades you want is really, really tedious and no fun. Like it's like the least fun. But the other nice thing about this, like, it took me a long time to settle on a design for villager trading hall, because I watched a lot of videos and a lot of different designs, and they just seemed like a lot of work. a lot. I like the worst part of dealing with Minecraft is dealing with villagers. I hate dealing with villagers. I hate it. That's why the iron thing took so long. The iron farm took so long. That's why this villager hall took so long. It's why that thing took so long, because villagers are just a pain in the butt to deal with. I hate dealing with them. Yeah, it just takes so much work to deal with them. But now that I've started to get all this work together, it's starting to become clear the purpose of all this work. And this work here is so that if I die and I were to lose all my stuff, just say I were to die and I lose all my stuff for some whatever weird reason, I die and I lose all my stuff. All I have to do is come back here, or be reborn here, respawn here, and this gold farm will give me all the experience I need. And then I'll get all the rotten flesh I could ever want, which I could trade with these clerics, with these priests, and I'll get all the emeralds I could ever want. Then I trade to get any book I ever want, and I get any gear, diamond gear that I need, and then I enchant it. But PoGokeRo, that takes a whole lot of emeralds. Where are you gonna get all those emeralds? That takes a lot of rotten flesh to get all those emeralds. Well, let me show you what I've done here. So down here, Down here is the it is Silent Whisper's design to quickly cure 4 villagers at once. Let me get the apples here. This thing is great. Check this out. You can cure 4 villagers at one time. So right now they're all zombies, right? So I flipped the switch. They've all been shot with arrows of weakness. And I just hook them up. I feed them little apples, little bits of knowledge, and in about 5 minutes, they're going to be cured. Well, here, while they do that, and then when they're cured, I can go over here, and these guys are like, "Oh, you're such a nice guy. I'm going to give you a discount on the book." And so I can get it for like 1 emerald. Well, this one's 7, but it will be 1 as soon as these go. Well, maybe it might be 1. Depend. I don't know how big the discount is, but it's pretty. That's pretty good. And let me tell you, getting fire protection was very, very tedious. It's a lot of work to get those trades. So yeah, I hang out down here, right? I can go in the water. It's pretty nice under here. Here's all my sparkling geodes. This is the reason why I built built it over here, is for this. So I can farm all the amethyst crystals I want. Ah ha 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 ha. And ow. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yay! And since they're cured, I should get a discount, right? These guys are like, "Oh, look, you're such a nice guy. I'll give you a discount." Now it's down to 6. And I just keep doing that. And I can get these trades lowered down to 1. So, okay, you can't see, but in the middle in there's a zombie. Yeah, right there. There's a zombie right there. But there's a piece of glass put over that zombie's head. So the glass is transparent, so the zombie won't suffocate. How can zombies suffocate? I don't know. All right, the zombie won't suffocate with the glass. But when I lift this, when I do the lever, it lifts up the glass, and the zombie can attack all the villagers again, which he does. And by attacking the villagers, he converts them back into zombies. And I just repeat the process. Right? They're all zombies. I close this down, and above each of these zombies is dispenser. And the dispenser will fire. Oop. The dispensers have these arrows of weakness in them. So instead of using potions of weakness, which take forever to brew and always get me splashed with it, this way I can cure villagers very, very efficiently. And every time I cure a villager, I get discounts. So it's at 6, and then I'll see what happens after these guys get cured again. But yeah, about 5 minutes. 5 minutes. So it took me a long time to do this. Oh man, it took a long time. So here, let me show you how I would get, here, I want to get new villagers, right? I have how many spare beds? Let me show you the process of how this works. Put some stuff away real quick. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I have 1, 2, 3. And then I have this one here, 4. Okay. So we have 4 spare beds. I need 4 villagers. Oh wait, I have to wait till they're converted. And then put them back and leave them as zombies. But every time I cure them, I get a discount. Well, maybe not every time, but pretty good discount. Okay, there. So I need a few more zombies. I need a better way of doing this. I had a way of going over there safely, but like I took it out because it looked ugly. And now I should put it back because it was useful. Look how dangerous this is. Look how many creeper holes I have. So for a while I had no wings. That's why, like, you would think, why don't you just fly over all this stuff? For a long time I had no wings. Look at that guy. So like, even if these zombies fall in the hole, they'll despawn. Oh, okay, I can't. Get out of here, zombies. Jeez Louise, alright. Okay, I need 4 villagers. But if I take a kid, the kids don't work. They will walk on the beds because they're so small they can walk on the beds. And then if they grow up while they're inside of a little place, they're stuck and I can't get them out. So I can't take any kids, no kids. So let me hang out here for a bit. Let me turn down the sound because that splashing is ridiculous. Settings, audio. All right. Okay. So, Americans, we're in a strange time. Things are wild. Things are weird. I think it's but that's what happens, right? As Slack disappears, it's no longer feasible to ignore things that you could ignore before. Like you could get away with ignoring stuff when there was a lot of Slack, but as things start tightening up, there's no more Slack, so you can't ignore the things that were going before. And the analogy I like to use is your tent. Your tent. You're out on, you're out camping, and okay, well, you're camping. You're out camping, and if you camp in certain areas, the wind is a big factor. Wind will take away anything not like nailed down. You've got to seriously keep your camp tightened down, because if a windstorm comes up, it'll take away all your stuff. It'll rip your camp apart. It will tear your camp apart if your camp is loose and not well tended. So it's incumbent upon you to, let's see, filters. It's incumbent upon you to make sure that your camp is tight. Oh man, I think all those bobbing people are like messing up my frame rate here. I gotta go somewhere else or something. I don't know, because it's not happy. There we go. If I'm not looking at it, it's happier. Okay, um, all those yeah, if your camp is not if your camp is not well tended, your stuff is gonna get blown away by the windstorm. So it's incumbent upon you to make sure that everything is right. How do you know what needs to be tightened down? You listen. Just sit in your camp and listen, and the wind will tell you what you need to do. Because you'll sit there quiet in your camp and you hear this and you'll be like, oh, there's a loose something's flapping. That means if it's flapping, it's not tightened down. If it's flapping and not tightened down, it's loose, and it could makes other things loose and besides make noise. So that's the place you have to tighten down. So you go, you look, you find that spot, you find it, and you tighten that shit down. And that's where we're at right now. Oh, I can't be looking at that stuff. Are they grown up yet? That's what I need them to do. I think I still see kids in there. Yeah, there's still kids in there. Those two kids will be the first to go. I need them out, but I can't push them. They're there. So grow up, kids. So yeah, right now it looks like the United States is dividing into two different camps and they run they run their camps differently. Two different camps with different rules. And what do I got here? Hold on, is it working? All right, there we go. I can't see it. So I kind of need to do it like this. Okay. It's time to really focus on a key fact. The unvaccinated would kill many of the vaccinated. They are taking up ICU beds across the South. If you have a heart attack, a stroke, trouble in emergency surgery, there is no place for you to go. You could die. You could well die for their stupidity. I don't want to call them stupid. I want to call them demoralized. Like, they're our country people. They're not stupid. They're demoralized. Their brains have been manipulated by leaders for so long that they're unable to discern truth. They're unable to make distinctions anymore. That's why they're able to say both sides are the same, and that's why they're able to excuse their own behavior, because they believe, hey, I'm only acting like the way you would act if it was reversed. Because they believe that. They believe other people would act the same way they act if the tables were turned. That's why they're so afraid of multiracial democracy. Because in their minds, they believe if minorities get any kind of power, any kind of privilege, like white people had, that they will abuse it the same way that the white elites abused it. They firmly believe it. They really believe it. And so that's why they're afraid. A big part of their deal is fear. And that fear is stoked by their media. Like, so now they have a fear inside them, and that fear is stoked by the media. Tucker Carlson is already talking crap about Afghanis. Dude, a bunch of people in Afghanistan helped us. We could not have been there for 20 years if the Afghanistan people did not help us out. I mean, have you ever been in a foreign country by yourself, Tucker Carlson? Have you ever done that? Have you ever tried? Do you know what it's like to be away from the United States? Have you ever been an individual away from the United States? You take a lot for granted, Tucker Carlson. You think that the United States could do what it did in Afghanistan without so much help from the Afghanistan people, from the Afghani people. Like we got massive support. I recognized it. It took me a long time to recognize this, and it was kind of like painful. Like when I realized how stupid I was, it was painful. It hurt me because I was like, damn, dude, I was being a jerk. When I was in Japan, I did this thing called FukuBukuro. FukuBukuro in Japan means happy grab bag. So in Japan, it's a sealed bag that the shops will sell, the big, fashion shops or whatever. The different shops in Japan will sell these FukuBukuro, these happy grab bags. They're sealed. You pay ichiman, you pay 100 you pay 10,000 yen, about $100, and you don't know what you're going to get. But you get basically you pay $100, but the value of what you get back is going to be more than what you paid. That's the idea. You don't know what you're going to get, but whatever it is going to be worth more than the $100 you paid. So I thought, what a great idea. How awesome is that? So I did that in Japan. I made FukuBukuro art show, and I got whatever artists I could to show at the show. And I thought, like, because it was my idea and like my impetus to get it moving, for a little bit I thought, oh yeah, it's all me. I'm solo man. I am able to do things by myself on my own. But I totally ignored the fact that I was having massive amounts of help from my Japanese friends all around me. They were totally helping me out. And by me saying I did it by myself, I totally ignored them and discounted their contribution. But without their contribution, I couldn't have done it. I didn't know what to do in Japan. I couldn't talk to people. I couldn't network with business owners to get the space. I couldn't talk to artists to get the content. I couldn't arrange the time and make the flyers and translate the text into Japanese. Like I couldn't and then figure out where to get copies. I couldn't do any of that without help from the local population, the Japanese people. And so when it finally dawned on me, when my friend who was hurt because I had been so arrogant, she was hurt. She was like, I can't believe you would do that. You would discount me. I'm like, oh, it hurt. I'm like, damn, dude, you helped me out, and I was a jerk. I'm so sorry. It was bad. See, yeah, I've been the ugly American. It is not like, it wasn't something I wasn't just born super cool guy. I failed so many times. Dude, Failure and I are best buddies. All the time we're hanging out, me and Failure. Dude, all the time we're hanging out. You want to know why those things are up here? You want to know why? Because this was that much higher before. But the villagers were linking to their beds up there because I remade it to this side. I tried to remake it on the ground. But when the villagers fell through, they were still connected to their beds. So I tried to lower it again, another 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks, and then I hit bedrock. I couldn't go any lower, and they were still linking to their beds. So I had to make another village breeder up there, but like chunk aligned, so I wouldn't delete villagers. Oh my god, it's so much work. Failure upon failure upon failure to get to this point. Yeah, it looks great now, but it was because I failed so many times. And that was an example. I was an ugly ass American. Dude, I was ugly. I was ugly. So I look over in Afghanistan and I'm like, yeah, dude, we could not have done any of that without our friends, without our Afghani friends. We could not have done any of that. Nothing. We would have died there instantly without our Afghani friends. So for Tucker Carlson to come on board and start talking crap about our friends, that just makes me angry. Like he's like the ugliest American, Tucker Carlson. He's like the worst. I don't even want him to be an American. Like if I could get rid of him, I would. Like make him not an American, I would do it because he's the worst. He's he's the ugliest of ugly Americans, Tucker Carlson. Like I had to work real hard to not be like Tucker Carlson, and he's out there making more copies of him. Like I hate that guy. All right, are our kids grown up here? No, the 2 kids are still there. Come on, kiddies. I don't know if they're getting pushed forward or what, because there's no other kids in here. So it must be that like the kids get pushed forward. Well, I can just watch them, I guess. I guess I'll have to. I don't have a choice. 4. 1. Oh, I got it. 1. 2. There's a kid. 3. Another kid. 4. Oh, man. All right. And then 1 for me. Ha 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 ha. This is so janky. It's so bad. Yeah, if you get too many, I tried to do it with 13 villagers at the first time. Oh gosh, it was such a pain. All right. So we have 4 villagers here. It's the daytime. These guys got out. I don't know how. They must have got out of their bed somehow. I must have, probably because nothing was here. So I'm gonna wait till nighttime, and then they're gonna go back to bed. That's probably why these other villager things are good. Because villagers don't get like popped out of their workstations like I just did over here. If I would have put a block there, they probably wouldn't have done that. But anyway, so I'll hang out here until nighttime. So you see what I mean by like me being annoyed by villagers? It's just so annoying. I just hate dealing with them. Okay. We'll wait till nighttime. It's getting there, right? The sun's getting low. All right, so the sun's getting low, so I want to make this clear so they have room to get out or pop back in. But I don't want these other guys popping out. So I need to put stuff here. So annoying. Oh, and here. Yeah. I hate villagers. Oh, okay, so they're all going to bed now. So everyone go to your bed. Go to your bed, dude. I don't know where your bed is, but find it. Find your bed. Find your bed. That's not your bed. Obviously not your bed. Go to your bed. Oh, that's why you can't. Okay. Go to your bed. Okay, those guys are in. Nope. See, this is so annoying. Oh, he grew up. Okay. So all the kids grew up while they're here. Nice. I just got one up there. So I just need solid blocks here for now. Just stay put. Oh, wait. No, I need like a real. No, I need armor. Right? No. Let's see. Was it a weapon guy? Yeah, I needed a tool. I needed a diamond hoe and diamond diamond axe. I will come back to you later. So you have to put down the workstations in a particular order. Because the villagers can't move, aren't supposed to move. So if you don't put them down in the right order, then they can't get to their workstation and they get angry. So you want to make sure that the person can get to their workstation so they won't have to leave their bed, and then they can be just fine where they are. I have these two guys who need workstation or jobs. Don't need any more blast furnaces. Armors. I need weaponsmith. Or toolsmith. So there we go. So that's basically what it comes down to. That's what it is, right? I took a bunch of work to get this all set up. And then and this is not even set up right because remember, guys are falling through. So I need to make under here another platform with stairs coming back up. So if they fall through, they can come back up. Because I hate bringing over having to bring over new guys every time. Anyways, here, I'll do that later. Who wants to watch a guy make a platform in the water under... Yeah, that's no fun. But now, I can show you one other thing. So I was grounded for a while, and I needed a bunch of leather to make books, which meant I had to go back to farming, old school style, which I haven't done in a long time. And I found out when you're grounded, like I was for a long time, the Minecraft looks a lot different when you're on the ground all the time. And that's when I noticed like all these little improvements I can make to improve my like home base. If I'm not always flying in and out, like it makes sense to actually like have real doors and stuff. And like real paths. And yeah, I have a little cow farm here, right? I'm gonna hook up, to get leather. And then over here, I got some sheep and chicken. For the chickens for the eggs, and feathers. Well, if I ever need arrows. And then sheep, I'm gonna eventually get enough. I need 16 sheep to make a wool farm, to have one of every color. And I'm gonna make that probably on the other side where I have like I wanna try not to chop down trees if I can help it. This is like an open area, so I can make it right here. I have to tear down my jail. Tear down the jail. I can make this into like an area here or maybe over here. I don't want to chop down trees if I can help it. All right. But yeah, perspective change. If I'm not flying around all the time and I'm stuck on the ground, things look different. And I start to just like make changes to improve living on the ground. But if I never live on the ground, why would I even make any of these changes? Why would I even notice it? My idea of the way I play Minecraft was totally different when I was just flying around. I didn't even bother building most of the stuff on the ground. But after my wings were gone, oh boy. Like I made, it was annoying, so I had to like make a bunch of stuff. I made this, I made that. I had to make a dock, because I couldn't fly I had to use a boat to get to where I was going. Yeah. It was being stuck on the ground makes you play the game differently. But I'm getting close to finishing my resurrection ship or resurrection base, and when I'm done with that place, then I can repopulate the villages because I'll have a ton of I'll have that village breeder. Oh, here's another problem with Bug Rock. That minecart disappears every once in a while. If the chunk unloads and the minecart is on a chunk border, it'll disappear. So that's annoying. That means for a long time, this wasn't producing anything because the minecart wasn't there. I don't like minecarts. I don't like things that rely on minecarts. If I could use a water stream, I would, but I cannot because the bamboo doesn't get pushed far enough out. Like a lot of the work I have to do is just overcoming bugs, which is not the kind of work I want to do. Just to overcome bugs. Yeah, I went to the Salem Pride Fair. That was pretty nice. That was neat. I've never been to a Pride thing before. I mean, I only went there for like 15 minutes. But it was nice. It was cool. There were no like counter protesters. That was nice. I heard there were counter protesters at the Kaiser Pride Festival, and oh, that makes me angry. That makes me so angry. But, anyways. Oh. All right, what do I got here? Okay. We gotta talk about Florida. Florida is messed up. Now, I know all these people say, oh yeah, Republican states, just cut them off and let them like die or whatever. But you gotta remember, there's a bunch of liberals, left-leaning, like conscious people who living in those states that don't want to live under Republican rule. They don't want to. And there's more of them than there are Republicans, but because Republicans cheat, they can't get state power. They have to have overwhelming majorities to enact change. So it's very, very difficult for them. And the governor, well, their last governor was named Rick Scott, who was a fraudster. He defrauded Medicare. He defrauded Medicare and then became governor. Yay! Because that's how the GOP rolls. All right. Then you got who else? Oh, now the current governor is named Rick? No, DeSantis. Something DeSantis. DeSantis. Basically the Ron DeSantis. This guy is like no good. This guy's basically a smart Trump. He's just like Trump, but he's smart. So he's running the same Trump playbook that Trump did. And he's he's using the power of the state to spread COVID as much as he can. Let me show you. Let me show you here. DeSantis won. There we go. Top donor of Governor Ron DeSantis is Regeneron investor. This is released yesterday by CBS Miami. So yeah. What is Regeneron? Regeneron is the drug you take after you get sick with COVID and you're not feeling well. So it's too late for you, right? You already got COVID and you're messed up. So you're in the hospital, so you take this stuff to get better. All right. The problem is that it costs a lot more money to use the Regeneron than it does to take the vaccine. If you take the vaccine, you don't get as sick. So if you don't get sick, you don't need Regeneron. But Ron DeSantis is anti-vaccine and he's anti-mask. He's like pretty much pro-COVID. He's trying to spread the disease as much as he can. But why would he want to do that? Why would he want to spread the disease as much as he can? As Florida Governor Ron DeSantis crisscrossed the state opening monoclonal antibody treatment centers using Regeneron as a post-exposure prevention for COVID-19. He is also being criticized because one of his top donors is a Regeneron investor. According to the AP, filings with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission show Citadel, a Chicago-based hedge fund, has $16 million in shares of Regeneron Pharmaceuticals, as well as options to buy its stock. Citadel CEO Ken Griffin has donated $10.75 million to a political committee that supports DeSantis. He also donated $5.75 million in 2018 and $5 million last April. Citadel's investment in Regeneron is a tiny fraction of its overall $39 billion in investments, but if the stock price were to go up, Citadel would benefit. DeSantis spokeswoman Krista Pushaw points out that Citadel has far greater investments in Moderna and Pfizer, which manufacture COVID vaccines. However, there's less profit in Moderna and Pfizer because you don't get as sick, and it's just one shot or maybe two. And that's it, and then you're done. And you don't get that sick. Regeneron is way more expensive, and it was created using cells from aborted fetuses. So if you're anti-abortion, you should be against the Regeneron because it was developed using the cells of aborted fetuses. I mean, I don't know if you're into that stuff or not. I guess DeSantis is into using the cells of aborted fetuses. That's why he is pushing Regeneron. But he makes money too, so maybe that's another reason why he's pushing Regeneron. And that's what is, he's just copying what Trump is doing. Trump is doing the same thing. Trump is, actually, no, that's the funny thing, right? Even Trump is trying to get his people to take the vaccine, but it's too late. That's how brainwashing works. Once something's in their head, it will never, ever, ever leave, no matter what. No matter what. It doesn't matter. No matter what, it will never, ever, ever leave. Even if Donald Trump were to tell them to take the vaccine, they would boo him. Oh, you don't believe me? Watch.
3 days, less than 9 months, and it's great. And you know what? I believe totally in your freedoms. I do. You got to do what you have to do. But I recommend take the vaccines. I did it. It's good. Take the vaccines. But no, that's okay. That's all right. You got your freedoms.
They booed him.
But I happen to take the vaccine.
They booed him.
If it doesn't work, you'll be the first to know, okay? I'll call up Alabama and say, hey, you know what? But it is working. But you do have your freedoms. You have to maintain that. You have to maintain that. And you got to get your kids back to school.
When he says freedoms, they start cheering again. When he was talking about the vaccine, they weren't cheering. But then he went back to saying, but you got your freedoms, which is a way of saying free to not take the vaccine. And then they all start cheering again. So you see, he will never, ever try that again. Donald Trump was stung by those boos. He does not like being booed. Donald Trump is a narcissist. So, like, he does not want people to not like him. He wants people to love him. He has to be the good guy. So if people are booing him, he can't handle that. So he will never, ever tell his people to take the vaccine again. That was his trial balloon about being a good guy, doing the responsible thing. And when he tasted the taste of responsibility, he didn't like it. So he will never do it again. But that's how messed up people's brains are, that it's in their heads that they will not take the vaccine. They will not do it. They will not. So some Florida school districts will require masks. The governor may cut their funding. This is August 6th. So if a school, knowing that COVID is ravaging the state, tries to implement a mask mandate at school to stop the spread, the governor will cut that school's funding. The governor wants everyone to spread COVID as much as possible. Several Florida school districts are keeping their mask mandates in place for the upcoming school year, despite an executive order by Governor Ron DeSantis that leaves it up to parents to decide whether their children wear face coverings in school. School boards that don't eliminate mask mandates could face the loss of state funding. On Friday, Florida's Board of Education further complicated matters for public schools by announcing they would provide private school vouchers for parents who see mask wearing requirements as harassment of their children. So remember what the Republicans want to do, right? Republicans are enemies of the United States. They want to destroy the United States and put into place a system of neo-feudalism. They want to go back to the days before there was law, back to the days of aristocrats, of the elite aristocracy, because back then it was there was no law, right? The law was whatever law. There was no law. It was ruled by king. The king was everything. And why was the king everything? Who said that this king got to say everything? God is the one who said the king could do whatever he wants, according to the church, right? The church. And how do you know? How does the church know? Because the church has the readings and the knowledge about Jesus. Do you have those readings and knowledge of Jesus? Well, if you were back in the Middle Ages, no, you didn't, because there were no books. Books were very rare, and even if you had a book, you couldn't read. And even if you could read, Bibles were written in Latin. So you had to be able to understand Latin to translate it. So the church, so as a commoner, you had no way of knowing that the church was wrong to say that the king was appointed by God to do what he does. Because you didn't know as a commoner. You couldn't read the books. You couldn't know. The church is saying that the books are giving church authority to say that God gave the king authority to take your wife and half your crops. But you don't know that because you can't read the books. Now, modern day, we have the printing press. Books are everywhere. We have translated the Bible into many languages, so you could read for yourself, right? And that's great. We want to spread knowledge. But if you're part of the neo-feudalists, you don't want to spread knowledge. You don't want people free to read their own books and coming up with their own ideas. You want them to think the way you want them to think, which is divine hierarchy, right? Where so they want to go back to neo-feudalism, and that means destroying the public sector of the government. So they want to take public money meant for public schools, and they want to give it to private schools. That way, you take public money and put it into private hands in what, and you deprive the public school district of money. Money that would normally go to the public school district is now going to the private school district. So, and why? Because Republican governors are creating conditions that are dangerous for children. So if you're a smart parent and you're able to afford to put your kid into a private school, you will do so. Like, you'll be like, oh, well, if the public schools aren't allowed to force masks, but private schools force masks, I'm going to put my kid in a private school. So in this way, Republicans are depriving the public education system of money. It needs to function. Because they want to get rid of public education, they want to move to feudalism and have it all privately run. And if you're poor, you don't get education. Neo-feudalism. That's what they're about. They're fascists. So what does the government say about masks? The government says if you are not fully vaccinated and age 2 years or older, you should wear a mask in indoor public places. As far as I know, most kids are not vaccinated. Most kids under 18 are not vaccinated, which means they're not fully vaccinated. They should wear a mask, according to the government. Ron DeSantis is saying if you follow government guidelines, I will defund your schools. That's what Ron DeSantis says. I will defund your school if you force masks and follow government guidelines. People who have a condition or are taking medications that weaken their immune system may not be fully protected, even if they are fully vaccinated. So even if you're protected, other people around you may not have the same level of protection. You wear the mask not for your protection, but to protect other people, for their good, not for your own good. Oh my gosh, okay. So if you're fully vaccinated, to maximize protection from the Delta variant and to prevent possibly spreading it to others, wear a mask indoor in public. Who cares if you're in a high end? Just wear it indoors in public. Just wear it indoors in public. But DeSantis is not doing that. So I wanted to double check it, right, to make sure to see how invested is DeSantis and into Regeneron. And according to that was like 2 days ago, Evan Donovan. Oh, wrong way. The top donor is Ken Griffin, CEO for Citadel. Citadel tripled its stock, but makes up less than 1% and has more puts than calls, which means more bearish about the company than bullish. So there's not a whole lot of – he's not going to make a whole lot of money about this, like on Regeneron. But there's still undue influence right here. Undue influence that the CEO has on Governor Ron DeSantis. That's undue influence. They make a lot more money off Regeneron than they do on Pfizer and Moderna on the vaccine. Vaccines make no money, but post-exposure treatments make lots of money. That's the American healthcare system. We put no money on the front end in preventative care where it's cheap, but we have lots of money on the back end where you already have advanced disease. We have lots of money and resources then when it's expensive and they can make lots of money. So yeah, the Republicans are literally horsemen of the apocalypse. They're spreading plague. They're spreading famine because of global climate change. They don't want to look at it. They're bad people. And they bamboozled a lot of people. So I have a golem back here, and that way he stays out of the way and doesn't kill me if I hurt a villager. I have to make another one over here for the second one that's gonna spawn, because I have so many villagers in one area. All right. What else we got? Donald Jr. tweeted, "A vote for Joe Biden is a vote for forever war in the Middle East." Oh no! What? A vote for Joe Biden means we're going to be forever in Afghanistan? Oh, Donald Trump Jr. Let me think about that. Donald Trump Jr., he always gives, when he talks, you have to really look at his words. So Donald Trump Jr. says, if you vote for Joe Biden, we're going to be in Afghanistan forever. I don't know if so I would think if the words that come out of Donald Trump Jr.'s mouth are of any value, I would expect Biden to keep us in Afghanistan forever since we voted for him. Oh, but he's wrong. Donald Trump Jr. is wrong. Like he's always wrong. It's almost as if everything he says is incorrect. Look how bad it is, the brainwashing. This is about the brainwashing. Doug Jensen is the QAnoner who chased Officer Goodman up the stairs of the Capitol. This is Empty Wheel. He was recently released under strict conditions with his spouse as a third-party custodian. She swore she'd make sure he stayed off the internet. But then, pretrial services showed up and found him in the garage like a junkie, accessing Rumble via a cell phone. They also learned that his wife, who swore to keep him off the internet, left him at home with the news on. And it says, a mere 30 days after his release from D.C. jail, defendant Douglas Jensen was found alone in his garage using Wi-Fi connected iPhone to stream news from Rumble. When confronted about this obvious violation of his release conditions, defendant provided his pretrial services officer with one excuse after another. First, he claimed that the phone belonged to his daughter. Jensen's daughter, however, later told pretrial services that she had gotten a new phone almost 3 weeks ago. Then, Jensen claimed that his wife, the same individual who swore under oath to notify the court immediately if Jensen violates a condition of his release, facilitated his violation by leaving the news on for him when she left work in the morning. Finally, Jensen claimed not to know the password to the iPhone, only to later enter the password for his pretrial service officer. So the guy lied up and down over and over again. He watched 2 days of Mike Lindell's conspiracy fest. Jensen eventually admitted to his pretrial service officer that in the previous week, he had spent 2 days watching Mike Lindell's cyber symposium regarding the recount of the presidential election. Remember Mike Lindell? He's the MyPillow guy. Mike Lindell was the guy who told us that Trump would be reinstated as president on August 13th. He staged a 4-day symposium where he was going to present all sorts of evidence showing about his, that would support his crazy conclusions, and then at the end of it, Donald Trump would be reinstated. Well, none of that actually happened. None of it happened. But this guy Jensen broke his pre-trial release in order to watch it, and now he's going back to jail because of it. And who's that guy? He's the crazy QAnon guy that chased the officer up the steps. Remember him? And off the Senate was just down the hall, and Jensen was going to go that way, and Officer Goodman tapped up and was like, pop, pop, tapped him on the shoulder to get his attention and to taunt him basically, and to get him to come back toward Officer Goodman. Officer Goodman was like the best tank ever. That was tanking. That's how you tank. You manage threat. And Officer Goodman managed threat. He saw that Jensen was heading to the bad place, the place you don't want him to go, and he taunted him to get him and trained him to go the other direction. Train. Not literally train, but like a choo-choo train. And that comes from back in the day of EverQuest, when you run away from mobs, from monsters, and they all chase after you. All of them, until you get a whole bunch of monsters, like a line of monsters all chasing after you as you run for the exit. And if you make it to the exit, all the monsters that were chasing after you will find new targets who they weren't looking at before. And there's some random person walking by, sees this gigantic monster that came out of nowhere, who was chasing a guy, and that guy disappears. Now those gigantic monsters like, oh, the guy I was chasing disappears. Oh, you'll do. Boom! It just smashes him. Well, Officer Goodman trained that whole bunch of that train of mobs up into the group of officers upstairs and away from the Senate chambers. That was pretty good. But this guy, Jensen, broke his conditions of release in order to watch himself get disappointed, to watch a fraud, and now he's going back to jail. The burden of this pandemic now rests on the shoulders of the unvaccinated, on those who are eligible to get vaccinated but chose not to, a decision they defend by declaring vaccination is a deeply personal choice. But perhaps never in history has anyone's personal choice impacted the world as a whole as it does right now. When hundreds and thousands of people continue to die, when the most vulnerable members of society, our children, cannot be vaccinated, the luxury of choice ceases to exist. All right. This is like an hour. I got a bunch more stuff here, but like I'm like a little tired. Today is a big, like, scary day up in Portland. I'm not going to go to Portland. I said I was going to go to, but now I'm like, no, I better not. Nobody knows me in Portland. I don't know Portland. I don't know what's going on there. I don't have any connections there. I will be more hindrance than I would be help. I'm going to stay here where I'm like, where I know things, where I can be of help. But yeah. The Nazis are staging their rally in Portland today, so that should be interesting to see what happens there. The best of luck to the brave people of Portland who are defending their city from the Nazis, with no help from the city. Yeah, this is scary at night. Right now it's fine, right? Daytime, easy peasy, no problem. But nighttime it gets scary. I had built an entirely new structure on the ground, and it didn't work. So I had to make another one up there, and then tear down the one that was right here. Oh, it was so annoying. But I got to keep the elevator. That was nice because the elevator was like a lot of work. It's a lot of glass. And yeah, this train line is good. It's nice and easy to move, guys. But it's not high enough. Creepers will still blow up right here. Creepers will still blow you up. That's funny. I just don't know anymore. just hanging on. Just hanging on there. Just hang on there. Just hang in there. What else can you do, right? Just hang in there. I can't stay like this forever. Something's gonna give. Okay, America. Until next time. I don't know. I gotta be happy about something. I don't know. Here, I guess I can. You see this thing, a qubit? Do you know how quantum computers work? This is a qubit. So under normal stuff, normally the way computers work, you have binary. It's either on or it's off. That's it. Your transistor is either on or your transistor is off. So everything is ones and zeros, on and off. Everything in computers. But that, comes to a limit because, that's not a whole lot. One or the other, that's not a whole lot of like degrees of freedom. So they've been working on a quantum computer. And you're like, all right, what's a quantum computer? I don't even know what that is. Well, this is what a quantum computer is. So instead of just a transistor having either on or off, which is a bit, in quantum computers, you have a qubit, which is four possibilities. You have a on-off, but it's not just on-off. It's degrees of onness and offness. You don't have like this can be like so you could be instead of either one or this way on or off. Now you could have a little on or a little off, but also you have the second set of bits. So you can have a little on here on the left, or a little on here on the right, or a little off on the right. So you have four possibilities, and there's degrees of possibilities. It's not just all the way on or all the way off. You can go a little on or a little off, and it's not just one line. Now you have two lines. You can go this direction or that direction, like way more degrees of freedom. So in other words, your computer has more ways of thinking. And I can't even get my brain wrapped around the qubit computer stuff. It's just like, oh, it hurts my head. But you see, look at nighttime, it gets way scarier. Monsters just come out of everywhere. And they will kill you. Kill me. So we got a wandering trader there out in the middle of nowhere. He took an invisibility potion to hide from the zombies. But who knows how effective it will be. Okay, well, that'll do it for me then. All right, America, until next time, PoGokeRo out. Peace. Stop.